Welcome back. Hope you guys doing alright. Ooh. Shout out to the Wolves. Salute to the ninjas. So, I was watching this comedian, Bill Burr. Shout out, Billy. Another one of my favorite white comedians. She's been around for a long time now. And I'm watching his thing, and he starts talking about his generation. And he's older than me, so he's like my mom's generation right before me, right? And he's talking about, like, he's making a joke about, like, how poor white people grew up and how, like, in those times, parents were just violent as fuck towards their kids. And everybody was always arguing, and, you know, it's just normal to pick on each other. You know, it was normal for your dad to make fun of you all the time. It was normal for him to curse at you. It was normal for him to try to push you, you know, be stronger or whatever. But in all reality, people were pushing their children into fight or flight. Lots of stress automatically activate one of those things. You're gonna fight or you're gonna flight, you know? It's automatic. It's sort of like the sun and the day. The sun and the moon. It's automatic. That's what I mean by my father doesn't change. Your body's designed a certain way. And people, whether they know or not, eventually they know, they use these things to make you fight or flight, right? Sound the horns. So the way he was describing it was just like that generation growing up hard. And he's talking about how things are so soft now. And he doesn't disagree with it, you know? But he doesn't agree with it being so soft. And I was watching this other video, a little skit. I don't know how true it is, but I believe it's true. There was a doctor. What's going on, man? As this guy asked him, he said, "So what do you think about ADHD?" The doctor guy goes, he said, "What do you think of it? What do you think of that disease?" He said, "First of all, ADHD is not a disease." And I said, "Do tell. 'Cause, you know, they like to label things." And then this guy breaks it down. He goes, "Listen, every human being has a fight or flight pattern." He said, most kids come from bad homes, period. the bullying. One way or another, you got somebody over you fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? And he said, what will you do if I start annoying you and making you mad right now? He said, well, I got two options. I can make you stop, or argue with you to stop, or I can force you to stop, or I can get up and just walk out of the room and not even make a problem out of it and just say, fuck you, and I'm out of here. He said, exactly. Fight or flight. He said, true, yeah, good. He said, now, what if I took both of those fucking options away from you? What are you going to do then? And he said, I don't know. I guess I'll just deal with it. He said, exactly. He said, some people deal with it by tuning you out. They'll just be there and they'll just go into their mind. They'll blank you out. He said, that's why they say you have an attention problem. He said, he didn't say it like that in so many words, but that's what he meant. He was saying that so many children's fight or flight mechanism is triggered so much that the ones that we think have ADHD don't really have that. They're triggered. So he was saying that, almost lost myself. I was in the store. And he was saying that, children are, go through so much that, a lot of them, they're not have a disease. It's just that, no, they just focus your ass out. When they get to school and things stress them out, it triggers them to block shit out. And I said, yo, that is so true. I said, because I've listened to multiple people that, I grew up in around that, got labeled it myself. And just the way he described it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because, a lot of the kids that are labeled like that, you come from the poverty, late nights, sleep deprivation, you fucking listen to death music at an early age, shoot 'em up, everything's go, go, go. And then you add in the male competition, and you get a bunch of people that are going to be overstimulated. And when it comes time to learning, all it takes is the right stimulation. And I say, yo, that shit is so smart. Well, if you're thinking nefarious like I am, but I don't want to talk about that. But it's really amazing. Because when I listen to these things being talked about, it always brings me back to mind control and brainwashing and all the shit that I learned about those things. Like, we always think it has to be some movie, some fucking... Nah, dog, brainwashing been around since the Jesus times. Duh. They just didn't call it that. Called it zombified. Zombification. Don't think that's a new word. And don't think that means dead people. No, it don't. It means that empty out your fucking head, nigga, and fill it up with a bunch of shit. Now, you look at a heroin head and then say, put a drug dealer over him and watch how he makes him a zombie and tells him to do whatever the fuck he wants. Duh, get it? Anyway, this shit really made me realize, like, when the fuck did that start? You know, when did it become cool to destroy your own people? Like your family and shit, your friends. It can't be, because the thing of fucking with each other and making fun and joking, that's a normal thing, you know what I mean? I think people would always be, you know, a little funny to each other or make fun of things or, you know, people do shit. And then, but the length that I've realized and I've seen people do it, and it's great to see, like, most people know comedians tell real stories and make them funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what opened my mind at a young age, because I used to, like I said, I used to watch George Carlin at like fucking 13 years old, and fucking Eddie Murphy, and a lot of older comedians back in the day used to say a lot of real shit. And just thinking, like, how bad people manipulate each other. And I'm not talking about on a large scale, just regular people. How pathetic it really is out here in the world. How many illusions people are running with. Then to know the fact of, like, it only takes 10 years, 15 years to really lock in. Meaning, if you don't know truth about the world, and you believe whatever truth you do know, that's what the world is to you. You know what I mean? Like, people say, how can somebody do this or do that? It's because it's just like the Lord said in the Bible. You die from a lack of knowledge. You fail from a lack of knowledge. If you knew better, you do better. A lot of people don't know things. And even the more depressing is when you do know and you can't do nothing about it, or you may not know how to do something about it, I should say. Because there's always a way to do something. It's just, it takes a little bit of time or suffering. And it's just sad to see, like, I definitely, feel bad for a lot of people, you know? Especially a lot of people that want to be this bad, or, what's going on, Jay? Like, you know, the gangster thing. I realize now, at least fucking 70% of people are, they're faking. It's not that they're faking, they don't know anything else. And a lot of them ain't never really even seen the real shit, so that's what I mean by they're faking. It's not even that they're faking, they just, that's the level they know. Like, he said something real funny. Well, it was kind of funny. It was a good joke. He was like, because he's a dad. And he's like, yeah, raising a kid's not too hard, you know. I'm not going to act like it ain't hard, but, you know, the world's crazy. And if you don't put things in your kid's head, well, you know, you get what you get. He said you got to also be little strict with your kids. You can't not, you know? You can't let them just do whatever they want. That's how they grow up spoiled and not realize that other people will do this. And they're not going to stop. They're not your father. They're not your friends. When you do whatever you know, piss people off, sound the horns, they're not going to stop. They're going to try to kill you. You know what I mean? Most people don't understand. That's why you discipline your sons. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. And if you spoil the child and, you know, he meets another spoiled child, well, you got two people that want to get what they want by any means necessary. Somebody's got to go bye-bye. And that's it. You know? And if you don't have, then it's like pushing God out of you. The Lord made you have a brain that will fight when necessary or run the fuck away. You fight to live and you run to live. Niggas fight to prove a fucking point and run away never. Running away doesn't mean walk away, run away. When you're about to have an argument with somebody and there's nothing to prove, nothing to win, you're not going to get a prize. Even if you prove a point, they're nobody to you. And what are you going to get over it? What are you going to get? Nothing. You know how many people will argue and argue and argue and argue and argue with somebody? I've seen it all my life. And you know what they get for that prize? Nothing. A whole bunch of arguments, maybe you get the clout. I guess that's the new word for fucking, you know, popularity, or you get to be that dude for the day, the funny guy, or, you know. But what the fuck does that get you? You know, think about all the, like I think about it, like the street life. Because it's not really the street life. It's fucked up too. My thinking and the way other people think is just, I don't know how people think, but I don't hear people talk the way I talk. To me, the street life isn't the street life. The thug life isn't the thug life. Not what it is now. You know? Street life will, like when you really think about it, all these things go to fight and flight, you know? Because people don't know any better, they fight by stealing. They fight by lying. Get it? Are they bad men? How many people are actually really bad? You know? Because I've met a lot of people in my life that they do bad things. You know? Some worse than others. And then there's the people that say what's bad. You know? Like, 20 years ago, selling weed is a bad thing. It's not legal. You smoked weed, you're a criminal. Now, you're just a guy that smokes weed. Walk around on the street, blow that shit right at the cop, like, what's good? 20 years ago, you'd be scared to fucking death to walk around with that shit on you. You know? Even though you knew the cops knew. Like, it was so crazy. I used to blow down in my old city and shit. And I used to be scared when I was older. But when I was younger, nobody gave a fuck. Because the cops smoked. We knew it. They knew it. They knew we knew it. You know what I mean? Not all of them or some shit. But they knew. They know we know. You used to be young. I know your cousin's nephew or whatever. And he got the pictures of you when you was a teenager and you was a pothead. And now you're a cop. Shut the fuck up. Now you're the sergeant. Now you're the drug fucking You're a detective. It's like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? We always on one side of the field, and then some of us grow up, and then join the other side of the field. It's that yin and that yang thought process, you know? Anyway, something for y'all to think about. Watch how you talk to your kids. Watch how you talk to your friends. I realize this manipulation tactic, or this, I guess it's the mask everybody puts on. It's because we're taught to put it on. Out of all the people I've ever met, like I said, when I get niggas one-on-one, everybody's really a good person, you know? It's just they don't know how to either be really good or, you know, you can't not include the fact that man is very greedy right now. I realize stupidity and greed is the number 2 reasons the world is so hard and has so much evil in it. You know? It's really just one, though. Lack of knowledge. Because the people that are greedy are only greedy because they have a lack of knowledge. You know? They have a lack of something. I think it's knowledge, because if you want to get something, you need the knowledge to get it. You know? So, like I said, it's only one thing. Because I realize now, you know, living long enough, not getting to see everybody, but walking among certain people and being smart enough to talk to different age groups and wise enough to watch people in real life and online. I realize a lot of people are starting to, I don't know if it's just me, but it's known, like, we're all looking down. So it's like, it's so crazy how most people in the last 20 years get their information and their actual, what they're gonna receive and think about the physical world, they get it from this thing, not knowing who the fuck you even listening to. Like, Bill Burr made a good joke. He said, I don't even watch the news anymore. He said, it's fucking ridiculous. Every day it's something else. And this is like at least 2 years ago, stand-up comedy was doing, or maybe a little bit, I don't know. And I said, yeah, I know what you mean. I've been stopped watching TV and all that shit. Like, only since I jumped on this YouTube and started to do my Thinking Man channel have I actually paid attention to the world and seen how much has happened. And then these last 2 years, oh man, bro, this shit is like, so much has happened in the last 3 years. It's not even funny anymore. It's environmental, spiritual, scientific. On all levels, things are happening in big ways. I was just watching some other shit where the Epstein files is supposed to come out. How you gonna put files out and every single sentence is darked out? That ain't uncovering nothing. I said, yo, bro, well, guess nobody's ever gonna know who's on his list. Which, you know, if you're, like, not dumb, it's not like you can't figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, like, you can't figure out who exactly was there. Like, big dogs, you know? But it's just like, come on, bro. Like, if somebody really wanted to, they could. Regular people that are so smart. And there's like Batman said, there's no such thing as coincidence. And these people are so fucking open and evil now. They chill with each other. They're out in the open. Not the big dogs or whatever, but you know what I mean? The dummies, the minions. The minions going down anyway. And since minions like to, fucking take pictures, well, it's not hard to connect dots, but it just pictures, so you can't really say for sure who's doing what. So I guess that looming mystery, I always figured that out. I figured that would happen. I guarantee you Puffy's list come out, though. I guarantee every one of them black motherfucking entertainers gonna go under that bus, though. I bet you that. Ain't that a shame? You know what I mean? That's that shit that I be talking about all the time when I be like, we tired of being the scapegoat, you know? You got Puffy over here. They're making him out to be the worst thing that ever happened in history. He's like up there with Hitler in people's minds. And I'm like, yo, dog, you obviously never learned about no real dudes in history at all. If you mad at Puff, I ain't saying not to be mad if he did the shit, but like, yo, bro, this dude had an island, nigga. And he was a lot more richer than Puff right off the rip. When I heard his background story, I said, yo, this is crazy. I said, yo, bro, back when he first got in trouble and shit, I started looking this shit up. Why I think I never covered anything on that, but when Puffy shit came out, we went on that. I got a couple shit. One of my Biggie videos from year one got blocked. Now I know why. I think Daddy was saying a little too much. Or something. I don't even know what I said in that video. I haven't watched that in a while. All I know is I couldn't. That shit got blocked. But it's fucked up, bro. Like, that's just sad. You know what I mean? But like my father said, all truth will be revealed eventually. Just takes time. And eventually, you know what I mean? Do you even really want to know? At this point in your life, see, that's the one good thing about loving the Lord. Joining his side. He said, if you join me, everyone down there is going to hate your guts. You're on my team. So, it's a lonely road, You're like, everyone in the world's against me. For you people, to really finally wake up and be like, it's a scary feeling. That's why I try to wake people up slowly. Stay on the simple things. Because everybody want to know the truth until that shit will drive your ass up the wall. The worst thing about the truth that I've learned is there's nothing you can do about it. That's why in the Bible it says, Lord, give me this strength to deal with the things I can do things about and know the things I can't do anything about, so I could just not worry about it anymore. You know, I won't waste time and keep trying to fucking fix something I can't. And that bothered me. That bothered me a lot when I heard that, because it was like saying, I can't do things. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Even if it's true, I don't like to know that I can't, there's nothing I can do. That's the worst feeling in the world. And then I understood why. It's because my father's real. And he said, what I said is gonna happen. And nothing's gonna stop it from happening. That's the shit we can't control. When you can't control something, it's because it's daddy. And that's it. Doesn't matter if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Good guys can't take the bad guys out yet. It's because daddy's got his hand on them. If the bad guys can't take the good guys out, it's because daddy's got his hand on them. He's playing chess with himself. I hope you guys have a good night. I know I am. About to jump back on some Apex. Chief 201. Twitch.com. Holla at the guard. I need some more viewers. For real. Come watch the guard blaze out. You might learn a thing or two.